Speaking of athletics, I remember many years ago I had come on the show where I was singing the glory of, Lionel Messi. And you were like, who?
Right.
Who's Lionel Messi? And then you mentioned some MMA fighter that I'd never heard of. And I remember your exact response. You looked at me and said, how dare you, sir? Let me flip it back to you. How dare you? So you are a Messi fan finally? You've come around to the truth?
Well, he's an amazing soccer player. I mean,
that goal.
There's no denying.
Okay, well, since I'm on the number one show in the world.
He's a wizard. Didn't they offer him like some fucking insane amount of money and he just said no?
Saudi Arabia.
How much they offer
A different guy just got offered $1 billion for 1 year.
Yeah, Mbappe.
What?
Mbappe.
What? $1 billion for a year?
Well, 330 of that is so that he can transfer to the team, and then 771 is for his services to play soccer for a year.
Jesus.
They're buying everybody, the Saudis.
And
Jesus.
LeBron said if they offered him, he'd fucking take off and play.
They have so much money.
But let me tell you something.
LeBron will become Saudi Arabian king. He'll be the king of basketball over there.
That's right.
What? That is so crazy.
Yep.
The December 18th, 2022 World Cup final. You talk about the power, the emotional power of sports, right? My family and I were sitting and watching the World Cup final, and we had the extent to which we were emotionally vested in Messi winning the World Cup can only demonstrate the beauty of sports, right? Because here's a guy that, right, we've never met him.
Right.
We're not Argentinian.
Right.
He doesn't know that we're alive.
Right.
And yet it's life and death for us that he should. I mean, it was so harrowing. I don't know if you watched the game, that at one point my son, who's 11 years old, said, I can't watch this anymore. I'm going to have a heart attack. That's the power of sports, that it can pull us in and it can make us truly tribal. And in my case, before you interject, it was kind of driven, my desire for him to win was driven by really a purity strand. It was that it seemed cosmically unjust for the greatest soccer player of all time to not have won the World Cup. So when he won it, to me, it seemed like the world is right. Beauty has won.
I get it.
Look at
That's
this guy.
awesome.
And I should add, what a guy, right? Humble, sweet, family man.
What's fascinating to me is, as happy as they are, the people on the other team that were rooting for the team, they're devastated right now.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing about sports.
Yeah,
you can get so attached to what's happening that a loss is like really a loss.
Yeah.
Can't believe we fucking lost to Kansas City.
Well, in my first book ever, 2007, Evolutionary Basic Consumption, I talk about studies, not my studies, I was citing other works, that looked at what happens to the testosterone levels of fans as a function of whether their team wins or loses. Of course,
how do you test that?
Well, it's been tested. You just take salivary assays of fans as their team is winning or losing.
You can get the testosterone levels from that?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and so
Wow.
now what? It's not surprising, as you would know as a fighter, that if you and I fight and you defeat me, your testosterone level goes up, my testosterone level goes down.
Like a video game.
Like a video game. Except what's happening here is that there is a vicarious endocrinological response. The fans are having the same increases in their testosterone levels or decreases as a function of their team winning or not. That's quite extraordinary. And that shows you why we become so bonded to our favorite players and so on. We are really going through this battle with them.
Yeah, it's really the case with fighters. When people have a fighter that they're really a giant fan of and that person gets beaten in a devastating manner, it's heartbreaking.
There's even studies, by the way, that have looked at what happens to sexual behavior of fans after their team wins or loses. So if let's say if your wife is upset that you haven't been producing in the bedroom, she should pray that the husband's favorite team wins, because if he wins, he has an increase in testosterone level, increases their libidinal drive, and so we're animals.
It's just attaching so much of your own emotions to something completely out of control and just rooting on it.
Exactly. Austin has a team, right?
Oh yeah, it's the only real professional team in the
So
town.
are you willing on your show to commit to inviting Dr. Gad Saad to a game when Inter Miami comes over? Because Gad should see Lionel Messi in person?
I would be happy to do that if I am going to be here while that is happening. So I have a lot of commitments. You know,
Yes.
I don't necessarily know that I don't know when that is. You know,
But would you want to go?
But if yes. If I was free, I 100% want to go with you.
Oh,
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
That's amazing. You
know,
just made my day. You made me happy.
Matthew McConaughey, who's the coolest.
Yeah.
Such a good guy.
Yeah.
He's one of the owners too. So he's there.
Of Austin.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
In soccer, of course, you've had this perennial discussion about, Messi versus Ronaldo. I don't really think there is a debate. Messi's much better. But I also I admire his humility, right? Because if there ever was someone who should have a chip on his shoulder, it should be Messi, probably the most famous person in the world who's done it all. And yet he really walks around as though he's nobody. On the other hand, Ronaldo is a big showboat. If you ask Ronaldo who's the greatest player ever, he'll say, it's me. Whereas if you ask Messi, he'll list 10 people and he won't put himself on that list. And so there is a way by which he engages in his personal conduct that I think is really admirable, that